This is Carolyn V. Hamilton from Memoir to Legacy, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to apply high concept to your memoir. So what is high concept? It's a story that can be easily described with a simply stated premise. It sets your story apart in a competitive literary marketplace. It was first coined in Hollywood to describe a really big idea. Think snakes on a plane. Here's an example of high concept. You've probably seen the movie Lion that was made from this book. A Long Way Home. An adopted Indian boy in Tasmania uses Google Earth to find his childhood home. Here's another example from My Father's Country. The daughter of a man who conspired to assassinate Hitler reveals unparalleled insight into the German experience. Here's another example from Find Me Unafraid. A man from the largest slum in South Africa and a woman volunteer from Colorado fall in love and join forces to transform the lives of vulnerable girls. And this example of high concept comes from Hunger by Roxane Gray. A woman blogger who has survived a devastating act of violence describes her battle with food, weight, and self-image. And here's an example of high concept from Coming Clean. An immaculately put together New York career woman reveals her father's painful and unending struggle with hoarding. Now, Hollywood screenwriter Hal Grossman has said a novice writer with a high concept stands a much better chance of selling his or her book than a mid-list author without a high concept. So to tell if you have a high concept story, ask yourself these 5 questions. Number 1, is my story different from everything else in my genre? In what way is it different? Is there a universal theme readers can identify with? Love, hate, jealousy, desperation, revenge? Does my story have instant emotional appeal? Can I tell my story in one sentence in a way that my reader can instantly visualize it? So here are 3 ways to apply high concept to your memoir. 1. Identify the theme of your story. Keep it foremost in your mind while you're writing. I find it really helpful to write it on a large piece of paper and tape it to the wall where you can always see it and keep it top of mind. Number 2, research, probably at Amazon.com. Other memoirs. Read their blurbs or book descriptions. Identify which ones could be similar to yours. Now identify the number 1 thing that makes your story dramatically and emotionally different. Number 3, narrow your story down to one significant time period during which something outrageous happened, your life changed significantly, and you discovered your greatest lesson or realized your greatest epiphany. Here's how I did this in my memoir, Coming to Las Vegas, a true tale of sex, drugs, and Sin City in the 70s. My theme was personal values lost, actually really thrown away, and how I found them again. What makes my memoir different? The Las Vegas location and the time period of the 70s. And my story is narrowed down to 3 years in the early 1970s. So now your assignment, should you choose to accept it, Mr. Phelps, is to go forth and apply this tip on high concept to your memoir. Thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed this tip.